Welcome to the Manifesting Millions podcast. I am your host, Rashida McFerren, and today in the Rich Auntie Life series, we are talking about turning chaos into cash flow. But of course, before we get started, I need you to head over to our website, Rashida.ai. I want you to grab your Manifesting Millions freebie, download it, get it into your inbox or just onto your computer or your device. And then I want you to come back over here as usual and chop it up with us for the next 15 to 20 minutes. So we're going to dive right in. There are a couple of things going on. So number one, it's prom season for us. As a parent, there are a million and one things to do. And then I'm noticing that every time I get something done, my son comes back with some other different request. And I'm about at that point where I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not doing anything else. It's overemphasized anyway. I'm so excited for you guys. We have decorated and gotten everything all pretty. We've gotten all the clothes and everything. We're not splurging on the car because I don't know, for some reason, I feel like it's a waste of money. And so maybe that's something we'll do for the next year since his last year is next year. But for this one, yeah, no, we're not doing that. You know, prom in America represents like the transition of you becoming a senior. So technically, at that point, you're a senior. You have less than a month left in school. Your senior year starts. And it's so crazy that it went so quick, but neither here nor there. They're going to look so amazing in their dressed up formal attire, and I'm excited for them. Then there's the thing about the whole send off. And so apparently a send off is supposed to have food. I just wanted you to come over here and take pictures with your date. I wasn't trying to do nothing all the extra, and this turned into a party. Like it's turning into me hosting something. I just wanted you to take pictures in front of the stairs. Excuse me, pictures in front of the stairs with your date, looking pretty, okay? But it seems like it's going to be more of a party here. Lord help me. But anyway, that's what's been going on in our world. What led to this topic? One of the things you will learn when you launch a business, launch a side hustle, start a new career, start a new relationship, start a new friendship, a partnership, anything new in your life. The reality is that there are going to be challenges that come with you pursuing whatever it is that you pursue. I know we have this idealistic concept of what stuff should be like because that's what we were given in our culture, like from when we were little. I know I'm an 80s baby, so we were programmed with this concept of you can have whatever you want in life. If you desire it, and you don't have it, figure out how to go do it and go get it. Millennials are kids of baby boomers and Gen Xers. If your parents were older than that, God bless you. And so I'm noticing that as a trend, this is me speaking from being a Black woman in America, being raised by my family, growing up in the country, and us considered, I guess, quote unquote, upper middle class in that area. I am noticing that the trend of materialism, just in America in general, this is a consumer nation, and they just teach us from a really young age. It's almost they program us by TV, by the radio, by the stars we see, by the celebrities we see and we're big fans of, but it's almost like gone to another level. Like, so being a celebrity now has taken on just a totally different dynamic. They're not really important anymore because anybody can be a celebrity now. Like, technology has made it so that if you have an Instagram account or a TikTok account or a Twitter, whatever social media outlet that you have, and you get up to a million followers or more, you're considered Insta famous or TikTok famous. That's what they call it. Like, they'll give the famous definition they'll make the famous definition tied to whatever app that you're super popular on or whatever. Which is, I find it really interesting because it's like you literally can create whatever persona that you want. But in the process of building community, building a brand online, because that's pretty much what you're doing, even if you don't realize it, even if the babies don't realize that The reason they want all these followers is because it brings in brand deals and people paying for stuff. They want the money that's associated with it. Because you can have a TikTok account or Instagram account and have a million followers and don't know how to monetize it, and it pays you absolutely no money. You don't know what to do with the audience. What I wanted to focus on was like I've been seeing on social media, specifically TikTok, like this last week or so, reference people as OG TikTokers. I'm sorry. It's so funny to me. I was listening to this one little girlie who I think she does like dating and lifestyle content. I think she's a black girl in New York. She's a cute little girl. She's like probably 21, 22. And she was talking about how she made seven figures last year. And she was talking about how she was an original dating creator and how everybody was copying her stuff. I was literally sitting there listening to her, and she was like in her vibe, really in her feelings about people, I don't know, criticizing her on the app, people copying the way she does her content, and some more stuff. And she was trying to prove how real she was. And she kept saying that she was an original TikToker. I'm an OG TikToker. That's what she kept saying. I'm an OG TikToker. And it just, I don't know, for a second, it just caused me to take a pause and think. It's like, I remember right before I left corporate when I was mentoring the babies. I call the babies Gen Z because, like, my son is Gen Z, my nephews are Gen Z. I call them babies because they're so young to me. And I don't even think that boy was Gen Z. I think he was like a younger millennial. And oh my God, every time you guys have a problem with something, you guys quit. Sorry, it's so funny. Any little sign of chaos, any stress, anything, and I get it because you guys are not built for that. I get that part. You can't quit everything that doesn't go your way. It's literally a generation of having spoiled little kids who are throwing temper tantrums and not getting their way. And we live in a time where everybody wants to be famous, everybody wants attention, everybody wants to be successful, everybody wants to make money, but everybody is not going to be famous. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I'm usually pretty dang on positive, but everybody is not going to be famous because of an app. Everybody is not going to be famous because you put a video in front of your face and talk about something. Everybody is not going to have a pet that is famous. Everybody is not going to make money online selling TikTok shop or Amazon shop or whatever the new shop of the day is. And in the process of y'all hearing that, so many people are probably going to be like, oh my gosh, she's being so negative. No, what I'm being is very realistic. And understanding the balance between the two worlds because they are completely separate economies. The creator economy, the digital economy, the online economy, the real regular traditional economy that we participate in, all of those things are different economies. And some people will spend all their time creating all of this content and not get paid a dollar for it. Where they do that at? It has to lead to some type of result. You have to be on the apps to be driving results somewhere, to a website, to a landing page, to an email list, to something. You don't just want to be sitting up here making all these videos and getting all these views and it not turning into actual revenue at some point, connection at some point for someone in your community. But considering that is the journey to get to wherever it is you're going is going to include some chaos. I hate to say it, but it is. And even after living all of these years, I've come to an understanding of knowing that that is just what we signed up for when we came into this earth realm. It's a part of the journey, unfortunately. But the beautiful part about it is that you learn how to manage it better as you get more wise and more mature, and everything doesn't have to be a crisis moment in your life. My point is that the chaos is going to happen. The question is, what are you going to do with the chaos? Are you going to let the chaos ruin you? Or are you going to take that chaos and turn it into something beautiful and spin that into gold? Because let me tell you something. It's been however many months since I've transitioned into my business full time. I've always had a business on the side. But me hitting, I think This is episode 60, and me running a podcast on my own, using my voice to get my brand out into the world is something unheard of for me. And coming from a place in corporate where I have felt silence from being a Black woman, being a Black woman in finance, to always have to fight every single day for my place at the table in the room, it feels absolutely amazing to be at a table where I am welcoming my voice and will eventually welcome the voice of others. I did not realize how much suppression had gone into my voice over the past 20 years, you guys. Every time I've had an idea, I get shut down. I'll give you an example with the firm that I just left. The changes that they were implementing when I left 7 years later were ideas I had when I came in the door in 2016. And you know what I was told? You think too much. Stop analyzing everything. Just do what they tell you to do. And so that's what I did. For 7 years, I stopped analyzing and I did my job. I did it very well. I did it in a 90 percentile range. But at some point, you realize that, like, you want to grow. I'm going to be honest about some stuff. Like, the recruitment process at Bank of America in hiring is terrible. Their HR department is terrible. I had applications that had been in my portal for almost 4 to 5 years. And right before I left, I had initially requested a transfer because at the time I was working up north and my job was south and we lived south. And so, and my son was going to school up north still because I was devoted to keeping his life as simple as possible when I took the job with Bank of America. I did what I had to do to make it work, but in the process of doing that, I ran myself into the ground. And being in a city like this, we'll do that. We were spending 2, 3 hours a day in a car. It was just so unhealthy for both of us. I put in a request back then. I was working downtown, Bank of America. I put in a request to work in the Plano office so that it would be closer and I would have a less commute and wouldn't be running myself ragged, basically. In 2017. Don't y'all know when I was getting ready to leave, that's when they called me and asked me if I still wanted a desk in Plano? 6 or 7 years after the fact. I remember thinking, like, y'all just are not willing to do you're not willing to do what you need to do in order to keep people in your organization, nor are you willing to do what needs to be done in order for people to grow their career. And so chaos is my point, is a part of the process. What you do with it. I have taken the chaos that was going on in our lives at that time, and I've turned that into, for the most part, peace. And I'm proud of that. But in the process of going through it, honey, it wasn't easy. Getting to the end result is never an easy process of what you want to accomplish. Is it worth it? Absolutely. But it's going to take some trials and tribulations, unfortunately, for you to go through. But you know what? In the end, that builds your character. I don't know how else to say that, but that's true. It builds your character and your ability to be able to deal with situations as stuff comes up in your life, because the reality is that you will spend your life solving problems. That is a part of living life. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. So taking your chaos and turning it into cash flow can be found in what? I'm literally pausing like I'm sitting in a class. It can be found in your story. Your story is your magic. But here's the thing, you have to figure out what about your story makes you unique and how that makes you an expert to be able to sell a product or a service that will be useful to other people. Because people will work with you because of the key details of your life and what you've experienced and what you've overcome. I talk about all the time, I'm a single mother. I've been a single mother since my son was 3 months old. And I have been a single mother, not like every other single mother that struggled out here. No, I'm a single mother that worked for blue chip firms, which means that I made money, who had additional side hustles in real estate, which means I make money, which means that every opportunity that I could find to make more for my family, I did that. And for every gap that I had in regards to people, there were always people willing to stand in the gap from relationships that I had built with people in the past who were close to me in regards to my son and helping me raise him. And so my single mother experience was very different from my mother's single mother experience. My mother was a teacher. She made $22,000 a year. She had four kids. She was on her second marriage. By the time I was 13, she filed bankruptcy. She just like never had it. Do you hear what I'm saying? And for the grace of God, thank God for my grandparents who lived an acre between us next door because my mama wouldn't have made it without them. She just really wouldn't have. For me, that translated into value and self worth very early. I got to learn how to make these coins, honey. How we doing this? Where we doing it? What we doing it? And when we getting paid? Early. I self actualized very early in life, which means I grew up fast. By the time I was 14, I had my first job. Been working for the last 30 years. I'm 44 now. Child, it's time for me to retire. Oh my God. It's time for me to retire. I've been working for 30 years, child. Anyway, I said all that to say that turning your chaos into cash flow can be done no matter how you put something together. The point is having an attitude of willingness so you can make money having a resemblance of doing something that you love in the process of creating cash flow to provide for yourself, your needs, and your family. I mentioned about getting my first credit card in college and messing my credit up because I didn't know we were supposed to pay it, nor did I have a job to be paying a credit card. One of the things that came out of that is me learning how to be responsible with my credit early on because I literally didn't know that I had to pay the bill until it went, I think, to collections. And then I had to figure out how to pull my credit because I didn't know what credit was. Remember, y'all, I had to be like a freshman. And then I had to figure out how to get the money, which means I had to get a job. Got a job at Home Depot working, and then getting in the habit of being responsible. What happened after that, though, as a result, is that I became obsessed with how money worked in the real world. And then later, during graduate school, second year in graduate school, on the weekends, I went and got my real estate license. And most of me getting my real estate license was me learning about how finance applied to real estate. I became obsessed with it, and that's how I learned the basics of financial literacy. Then that's how I learned to apply it to real estate. And then that eventually, I think a year later, translated into me getting a job in a bank where they literally recruited me at my other job, like had a secret clandestine meeting and everything. That is one of the prime examples of how I turned my chaos into cash flow, because it's so funny. You don't even think about stuff when you're going through it. That one mistake as a college student was the reason I became serious about money and finances. Then later would be the reason that I got my first job in banking, because I started adding to those skills. So you have to be able to position your pain, the chaos, find the beauty in the story, and create a positive outcome from that translates into money. That's pretty cool if you think about it. I just wanted to tell that story. Thank you again for listening to the episode. If you found something of value, please leave us a 5-star review, share it with a friend. And if you didn't grab your freebie in the beginning, I want you to head over to Rashida.ai right now. Grab your Manifesting Millions free guide. Until when, I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.